So we didn't have a needle. We did not have a rig. And Joel's like, "Can you get a needle?" I was like, "Yeah, my grandmother's diabetic." He's like, "Go home, get one." I did not know what I was looking for. My grandfather had horses, and I'm up in the cabinet. I get a horse needle, like a 20 mil, I don't know what it
20
is. 20
gauge.
gauge. You
Yeah.
know, the holes, you can see
Yeah,
through the
it's
hole. Yeah,
massive.
I take that
Like
back to
what
him.
they do plasma. It's almost
Yes,
like what they do
plasma. Yeah,
plasma
yeah,
with.
yep. And I take that back to him. He's like, "What the is hell no?" He did it. He used it, but he refused to use it on me because I'm tiny. I have little veins.
All right. We are back with another episode. We have Lindsay Wren with us from Louisville, Kentucky.
Yeah, right now, yep.
Are you a horse girl? Do you race horses?
No,
Are you into all
Lord,
that?
no. I rode horses when I was young, but no.
No, not into that.
No.
Well, thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
This is, I know you had to drive down, so
That's okay.
we appreciate that.
Yep.
Let's start with your childhood.
Okay.
Tell us a little bit, so we have some context.
Okay.
Tell us a little bit about how that went for you and how it molded you.
Okay. So let's see. I had a great childhood. My parents got divorced when I was like 5. So when they did, they got divorced really because my dad was smoking pot, and my mom was like, "Look, you're going to either quit smoking pot or I'm leaving with the girls." And he chose that and kind of deer hunting and doing his own thing. So he lost his job because he failed a UDS.
Oh, really?
Yeah, good job. So
Random drug screen got him?
Yeah, got him. So mom left and she remarried about a year or so later to my stepdad. He was my stepdad for about 12 years before they divorced. And we had a good life, great house. I mean, nice house, pool, everything. So,
Damn.
Yeah.
In ground?
No, it was above ground, but it was like
Okay,
a
sorry, I
big,
was just
big,
checking.
big one. No, I wish it wasn't. It was great though. We had a 3-car garage. I had my own garage, so yeah, it was nice. But
Damn.
yeah, things didn't start getting ugly for me until I kind of rebelled when I was 13.
I was gonna say, did the divorce at 5 have any effect on you at the time?
Like I feel like my earliest like childhood memory is feeling the responsibility when my parents told me, like, number one, knowing what divorce was at 5, like somehow I knew what that meant.
Okay.
And then feeling like it was my responsibility to tell my little sister, who's only 18 months younger than me, but feeling like I had to, be the one to break the news to her. And what, like a 5-year-old, like, does that really go through?
Yeah.
So anyway, I maybe, but yeah, my stepdad, he was super, super strict. I remember one of his number one rules was we could not say the word hate in our house. Like hate.
Really?
The word hate was worse than like the word, can I cuss on here?
Yeah, you can cuss.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, he'd rather you say the fuck than hate. So that was a big deal.
What was the deal with that?
I have no clue. No clue.
Interesting.
Yeah, yeah.
How quickly did your mother remarry?
It was about a year or so later.
Okay.
Yeah, a year and a half, something like that. Yeah. So during the interim, we stayed with my grandparents. So, and my grandparents were like my everything.
The best.
They're gone now, but yeah, they're the best people ever. But yeah, I didn't really start rebelling from my, my family upbringing, rules, everything till about 13. Started smoking pot. Well, I got drunk first at 13 at my friend Amy's house. Can I say names? First names only? Okay.
Of course. Whatever you want.
Yeah, at 13, my friend's Amy's house, they had a bar downstairs in their basement. And
Like a full bar?
like a full bar, yeah. And
oh, wow.
her parents, all the adults, left me and her there for the night. They went out drinking. So she and I started drinking. Southern Comfort. I'll never drink it again. Yeah, I remember it like it was yesterday. But then she and I smoked pot together a little while later, still at 13. And then...
did it do anything for you?
No. The alcohol, yes. The weed, no.
What was that experience like, the alcohol?
It was just euphoric. Just like, this is fun. This is what I want to do. This is me.
Yeah. Yeah.
And feeling that buzz, feeling that loss of inhibition. Even at a young age, it's just I don't know. It kind of takes you
Well,
over.
13 is also, I mean, for a young girl, it's
Yeah,
pretty
a very
tumultuous.
age. Yeah, everything kind of starts. Yeah. So let's see. I had another friend, Jamie. Her parents smoked pot, and allowed her to smoke pot,
Like in the house.
like in the house. And so, I remember going to her house, getting an elder girl gave us a ride home from school, going to her house, and we didn't have any pot. She's like, my parents have some, but it's in a lockbox under the bed. I said, I can pick that lock. Never done it in my life, but I sure as hell did.
Did you really?
Yeah, yeah. He had like an ounce in there. We took maybe a quarter of it. I don't know. And
You
she
picked a lock?
yeah, with a little paper clip.
How?
I have no clue. Just digging it in there. I have no
And it
idea.
just popped open?
Yeah,
And you're
yeah.
like, see, I told you.
Yeah, right. See, I told you good. I'd never done that before in my life. But yeah. So she knew how to roll a joint. I've never learned how to roll a joint in all these years. I could not do it if you paid me. So I've always had someone
I
else
feel
do it
like
for
that's
me.
one of those things like you're either good at it or
Or
you're
you're just
not.
not. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I've never had to do it. I've always had someone to do it for me. So
Right.
yeah. But yeah, so she and I started smoking pot a lot, and which now I just can't stand it. I hate, and I don't even know why I did it then because I never got anything good from it. It was just something to do. But
Probably a sign of something
oh
not
yeah,
good,
oh
like
absolutely, yeah,
looking
yeah,
to
for
escape
sure,
something.
exactly, yeah, something, yeah. And so I met a guy when I was 15. Um, he was a friend of my friend's boyfriend, and he was 18. His name was Chris. I just fell head over heels for him, 18-year-old, and he liked me, and so we started dating. He introduced me to fucking everything, literally. Cocaine immediately, methamphetamine immediately, acid immediately, and this was like a weekend thing. Let's see.
At 15?
Oh yeah, 1998, New Year's 1998. We tripped acid that morning. The people's house that we were at, they went into the bedroom and they started cutting something up on the dresser. I thought it was Coke. And I loved Coke, and I was like, "Oh, let me get a line." They're like, "This isn't Coke, babe." I was like, "What is it?" They're like, "It's meth." I was like, "Well, give me a line. I'll try it." I was up for like 2 days.
Yeah.
Ugh, I hated it at first, but then it was something like I've always kind of liked speed, so. And this was not the meth that is out there today. This is like serious anhydrous, red phosphorus, strong
Okay.
shit,
Okay.
keeping you up for days, one line.
Meth's made a comeback
Yeah, oh yeah.
recently,
Yeah, I don't know. I
from
have
what
no
I
idea.
understand
Yeah,
at
I don't
least.
know. But I'll never forget. So the guy who gave me the line, um, I later on wanted some a few weeks later or something. And so Chris took me to his house, which was a lab, a trailer that was a meth lab. And
A
the guy,
literal
a
trailer.
literal trailer.
Breaking Bad
Yeah, Breaking
style
Bad type shit. Yeah,
trailer.
it was a trailer home. Later on, this burnt down. It burnt down the whole trailer park. But anyway, I go to the door. He looks at me. He's like, "Oh no!" And these are 35-year-old men, 40-year-old men, and my 19-year boy or 18-year boyfriend, and I'm 15. The guy looks at me and he's like, "No, she's too young to be in here. She's gonna have to. She comes in. She's gonna have to put this on, gas mask, like a full gas mask." So I put this huge gas mask on, and I go in there, and they're looking me up and down, and these are convicts. They have done prison time. These it's
Yeah, this is
brothers.
their job.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And so they look me up and down like, does the face match the body? Take your mask off. And I took the mask off and they're like, oh yeah. Cut open the tube, the clear tube that's wrapped all the way around the room, and gave me the first line off it. I was up for 3 days.
Damn. God.
Yeah, it was wild. That was wild. People don't believe that story. It's true. Very true.
No, that's
Yeah.
that
Later on,
is.
that trailer did burn down and
Yeah,
burned
how
down
do you know anything about how
No,
that happened?
I know it was a meth lab explosion. Yeah, that's all I know.
Did anybody pass away?
No, no one passed away. No,
Okay.
luckily.
So there
Thank
wasn't
goodness.
anybody like in the trailer
No,
when it exploded.
no. But
Okay.
it did burn down a few more trailers, and I know one of the trailers was a woman, and she was single and she had kids, so that was terrible.
Yeah, that
But,
sucks.
innocent people. But that's what drugs do, right? Hurt everyone around. So,
Yep. Yep.
let's see.
So you're an upper up or
I'm an
gal?
upper downer, everything around her. You
Okay.
know,
Okay.
I mean,
Doesn't
I
matter.
love it all. Yeah,
Doesn't
yeah.
matter.
And
Okay.
opiates are a huge part of my story.
Okay.
Yeah. So, let's see. After that, let's see, I was 15 then.
So you've done your LSD,
Done all that, and this became like it
cocaine,
became
meth.
weekends into weekdays type thing. So it was just partying on the weekends, and then maybe a Tuesday and a Wednesday, and
How's
then
school going?
oh, school's going, but it's D's. C's and D's barely getting by going, and it's only because I didn't want to put in effort. I'm not smart. I just half the time I wasn't there, and whenever I was there, I wasn't participating. So
Right.
just barely getting by. And I only went to school because I was popular and, for the
That felt good.
yeah, popularity part of it. Yeah. But let's see. So continued dating this guy. My mom started letting me spend the night at his house when I was 16, but he lived about 30 minutes away. So I'd have to get up and go to school, drive 30 minutes away. He graduated in 1998 and he went to WKU, Western Kentucky University.
Okay.
That's about 2 hours away from Paduka, where I'm from.
Okay.
And so after that, I kind of wilded out. I was alone, because I was usually always with him. And not to say I didn't have other friends, but I just chose like drugs and using drugs hardcore as my companion after that. You know what I mean?
He was like your running buddy.
Yeah,
Like you
yeah,
would
for
get
sure.
high with him, you everything
Yeah,
with him.
yeah. And then so after when he was gone, I didn't know what to do. I just kind of wild out. And like I said, it was like, let's see, I remember going to school one day and I had 2 hits of acid in my purse that I was planning on taking later on, but it was second period. We had seven periods, and I looked at a buddy. His name was Brent. I said, "You want a dose?" He was like, "What?" I was like, "Dose? I got some acid." And he's like, "Oh yeah." We dosed second period. By seventh period, we were fucking lit. Of course, hours.
Floored.
Yeah, tripping all the way through school that day. I don't really remember most of it, but
I never tripped in school.
oh, don't. I mean,
I mean
I don't
I just
recommend it.
I didn't think I was like the way I was taught with psychedelics was to like respect them.
Yeah,
It wasn't
yeah.
like you know what I mean? And
Yes,
so I
they
was
should be respected.
afraid
Yeah.
that if I tripped in school, I was going to like fall apart, you know what I
Oh,
mean?
yeah,
And get
yeah,
caught,
yeah,
basically.
yeah. Oh, I didn't care about getting caught. I really didn't. I'm surprised I didn't get
Well,
caught.
clearly you at 15, you
Yeah.
went up to a meth lab and wore
Right,
a gas
right.
mask
Yeah.
and yeah.
Yeah, I've never had like a fear of law enforcement. I don't know why. I just always thought that like I'm too good, they're not gonna mess with me, type thing. I don't know, maybe. They do mess with you. It doesn't matter what where you come from.
Yeah, they
But
do.
yeah, they eventually will get you. So let's see. I don't know. After he left and I started going nuts doing drugs all the time, and I'm mostly doing meth, acid, cocaine. I never took any opiate pills during school or Xanax or anything like that during high school. I was so against pills. I thought pills, yuck. Who wants to take those? I don't know why I
Right.
looked at it that way. I just did. I don't know why. But I'm trying to think. Let's see. I don't know.
Did you graduate high school?
Yeah, okay, so I did. So 17, let's see. So at this time I'm undiagnosed bipolar. Okay, so I've been diagnosed later on in life with bipolar 1. So I have manic and depressive episodes,
Okay.
and so getting along with my mom during this time was rough. Now my mom, she divorced it when I was 15. She divorced my stepdad,
Okay.
and that was kind of I didn't really care because it was like my mom was going to give me way more freedom with him out of the house than she did. Let me run wild. Let me do whatever I wanted to do.
Yeah.
And so at 17, she started dating this guy. His name was Kirk. She's actually with him now, but they split up for a brief time. And I love him now, but I hated him then. I mean, hated him.
Why?
He came into our house and was kind of telling my mom, like, you need to have them come home at a certain hour. You need to have, like, giving me rules, and I'm like, no, 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 this is my house.
Yeah.
And so one night, I feel like now it was during a manic episode that I didn't know, I was manic, but also drug induced.
Were you up or
I
were
was up.
you
I was up.
okay.
I was up. And me and my mom got into it, and she said, pack your shit and get the hell out. you've got to go. You have to go. I can't deal with this anymore. I'm like, where am I going to go? So I called my dad, my biological dad. And we had visitations when I was young with my dad, every other weekend or whatever. And they were chaotic because he used drugs and it was just chaotic. And so at 13, I kind of quit seeing him. And so calling him, and he had already remarried and had two other children. He had a 7-year-old boy and a 7-month-old daughter at this time. And they lived in a 1-bedroom house, the four of them. They moved me in right then. Dad said, yeah, you can
Wow.
come live with me. So it was me, my stepmom, my dad. I was 17, my little brother was 7, and my little sister was 7 months, all in a 1-bedroom
What
house.
does that look like
I felt more love in that 1-bedroom house than I ever did in my
in
mother's
that big house?
big ass house with my own suite.
How? But I mean, how did it? How did you fit the like? What was the structure? What was the
There
layout?
was no structure. It was more family, like we're eating dinner together type thing, but we're all gonna smoke pot and get as high as possible before we do.
Okay.
Because my dad smoked pot, he grew pot, and that's what I did.
Okay.
I became kind of a pothead, but whatever. He let me drop out of school. And so I withdrew from school, and my mom had bought me a car for my 16th birthday, so I had a little Dodge Neon. And she said, she called and she said, Lindsay, if you're going to drop out of school, I'm coming to get the car. I said, the hell you are, the hell you are. And she came with Kirk. My boyfriend Chris was home for the weekend, and his this is so fucked up. His stepdad was a police officer. He gave him a police issue 9 millimeter Glock, and Chris carried around in
Wait,
his
his dad did
his stepdad. Yeah.
gave him
Yep.
a
Yep. Police issue.
police issued
Nine
gun.
mil. Yep. 9 millimeter Glock. Yep. And he
I,
kept it in his, console or whatever. When my mom and Kurt got there to take my car, I sprinted to his car, grabbed that Glock, and put it to Kirk's head. And my mom called the cops. I didn't. I don't know what I was thinking. Like I was 17. I was stupid, drug. Whatever.
sure.
So my mom called the cops. The cops came. They gave me a lecture. That was it. It's blah, blah,
What
blah.
about the gun?
The gun was fine. I don't know. I mean, they never questioned about the gun or nothing was ever really
Really?
said about the gun. Yeah, yeah, it was fine. I don't know.
I was just thinking if they found
I don't
it
know if
and
he
ran
if he
it,
got it licensed to him or what the deal was with that, but he didn't. No one took the gun.
huh?
Yeah, but the cop was more there for me. He really didn't even really say anything about the gun that I can remember. But he was, and maybe he did talk to Chris, but I wasn't paying attention. But he lectured me. So they all left. Mom didn't take the car because Dad was kicking me the fuck out. He was like, "Oh no, you brought the cops here, and I've got 9 plants hanging in my garage. You've got to go." And I mean, the cops were literally 20 feet away from these marijuana plants they're hanging. So,
Yeah.
yeah, he's like, "You can't bring heat around here, girl." And so,
Damn.
yeah, so I was out. And I had nowhere to go. Nowhere. So I pitched a tent in LBL, which is Land Between the Lakes. I don't know if you're familiar, but
What is that?
it's like it's 100 acres, a little over 100, or maybe 100,000 acres of land between Barkley Lake and Kentucky Lake, and it's like camping, recreation. No one lives on this island. It's kind of like an island. They have like a few restaurants, maybe a hotel or something there now, but it's just camping. It's just really
Okay.
camping stuff.
Is it like a park? Like a
Yeah,
national
yeah, but
park
yeah,
type
yeah, kind
deal?
of like that. Yeah, kind of a national park. It's
Okay.
you should look it up sometime. It's called Land Between Lakes. But anyway, so I went there. I was really familiar with the place because we partied there. My grandparents camped there. I'm really familiar with it. And so I went and pitched a tent in a place called Nickel Branch, Nickel Creek. I can't remember one of the two, but I remember hiding my tent at the bottom of a hill where no one could see if they drove in. No one could see me. So, because I was really worried about safety, as far as like men or people, whatever.
Of
So,
course.
I stayed in that tent for a month and it was terrible. Like, I remember bathing in the lake, like literally. It was crazy. But, and all the time I'm, getting as high as humanly possible. Then went to like sleeping on couches.
How are you feeding your habit?
I was working at a department store in Paduka at the time. I still had a job. Like I had a
Really?
job. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Because when I dropped out of high school, Dad was like, if you're going to drop out, you're going to work, you know? And I was like, okay. So I got a job as a maid at a hotel. I fucking hated that. Fuck all that.
Yeah, it's
Ugh.
rough.
And so then I got a job as a cashier at a department store. And I can't think of the name of what it was. It wasn't like a big thing, a big department store. I don't even know if it still exists, but it wasn't something big. But I was working there and I met a chick there and she was 21. Her name was Megan. Uh, and she and I hit it off and she needed a roommate. She had a 2 bedroom apartment with her little girl. She had a like 1-year-old daughter. And, and so I said, well, I'll move in. You know, I'll move in. I'll pay half the rent, you know, half the bills.
Yeah, please God, let
Please
me
God,
move
get me
in.
out of this tent,
Yeah, yeah.
right? So I did, and I lived there for maybe 3 months, 3 or 4 months. It was stupidly wild, weirdly wild.
Really?
Yeah,
In what way?
I don't even know if I want to go into that.
I kind of want to go into this.
I don't. Yeah, it was weird, but no, she and I were close, really, really, really close, and then not close. You know, we fell off real bad. So
Okay.
yeah,
I'm following, I
so
think.
I left, and before I left, I didn't have anywhere to go when I was leaving, so I'd called my grandmother and begged to let me come home, to let me come there, you know. And she's like, sure, you can come here. You can come here, but there's going to be rules. And I was like, okay, I'll do whatever you want me to do. And she's like, no, you have to go back to high school. You have to re-enroll in high school a year later. Then you're supposed to graduate, and graduate with the class below you. And I was like,
Damn.
oh, please no. But I did. And so I was good for that time. I think it was around Thanksgiving when I
How
moved.
how old are you?
I'm 17.
17. Okay.
17?
18, 17.
18. 18.
Okay.
Okay, so yeah, I was 18. And so I went back into her house and went back to school. Now, at this time, they had changed the school up, so it wasn't 7 periods anymore. It was block scheduling. And so it was like you had 4 classes, and you had a fall break and a spring break, and then 4 more classes after December, different classes. So you took
Oh,
8 class. I know I hated it because it was 8 classes, but you took 4 in the first semester and 4 in the second semester.
okay.
You see what I'm saying? So, but anyway, you had a fall break. They did that to put that fall break in there. That 1 week fall break. So that fall break, and now during this time, I'm living with my grandparents and following all the rules, but I'm steady getting high underneath the table, and it's mostly weed, cocaine, and a little bit of meth, right? Well, the meth started getting heavier and heavier, and I was having to drive because my grandparents lived 30 minutes away from a high school. I was having to drive 30 minutes back and forth every day. And finally, I was like, Mom, this drive sucks. Please let me come home. I'll promise I'll be good. Da, da, da. And she did. My mom let me move back in my senior year. And
Was she still with
yeah,
Kirk?
well, off and on. Yeah, yeah. But it got really weird with him because he found out that he had a daughter he didn't know about when the mother came to him. She was like, hey, my 15-year-old daughter is your daughter. He had no clue. So things got weird and he felt like he needed to be more of a father, and be there with them instead of with my mom. Broke my mother's heart for real.
I
But
bet.
but yeah, it's kind of crazy because later on down the road they split up, and then later on down the road they get back together. So they're together now, and
Interesting.
he's all right. He's a good guy. But anyway, yeah. So I'm 18, at home with mom, getting high, and my meth use is getting worse and worse. And I start hanging out with some different people who have full access to as much as I want, meth, and it's free because it's dudes, you know. And
Yep.
one of the guys who gets it for me, him and a few other buddies were planning on going to Talladega to the races for fall break. And so me and a girlfriend, her name's Leanne, we went down there to kind of follow the dope, I guess. And we stayed. We didn't even go to the races. She and I didn't. We just went down
Just
there
wanted
to
to get
keep
high.
high, stay high for the weekend. And this is so fucking embarrassing. I had a one night stand in the back of my Neon, and I got pregnant with this guy.
Do you
I
know?
know his first and last name, and that's all I know. I don't know where he lives.
Oh,
I did at the time because we exchanged phone numbers, and he knew that I'd gotten pregnant. I told him after I'd gotten home, and he said he didn't want anything to do with it. So that was that. And I had the baby. I graduated. I was 7.5 months pregnant when I walked across the stage.
wow.
Big pregnant.
Wow.
Yeah. Yep. So 19,
When
19.
when you got pregnant, did you stop?
Yes, I did. I stopped everything. But I did smoke weed.
Okay.
I would, and my son knows that. So, yeah, I did smoke pot, which I think I only did that so I could hold on to something that I could, so I could still feel
Yeah.
cool or escape or fit in with my buddies, because all my friends did drugs. So, anyway, I graduated, 7.5 months pregnant. I had my little boy, and in July of 2001, 9/11 happened. So where I'm going to college, I'm taking him to my grandparents to keep him while I'm going to school. I took 16-hour credits my first semester like a freaking idiot with anatomy and anatomy lab, like I could do that.
Damn.
And yeah, no, I could not do that. So right after 9/11, that was crazy. You remember it, right?
Oh
Everyone
yeah.
remembers exactly where they were that day,
Exactly.
right?
Yeah.
I was putting his clothes on, my little baby, and he was 2 months old. And I'm like, the first thing I thought about when that plane hit was, what in the fuck have I done bringing a baby into this fucked up world? And that's so sad. But
I get it. I
yeah,
get it completely.
yeah, because it's scary because it's like, okay, we're going to war now, and we did. But anyway, yeah. So after I had him and I was going to school, mom ended up buying a house in Paduka and selling our house in Marshall County, and that's where I went to school, Marshall County. And when she did, and we moved down there, she started giving me a little more freedom, saying, I'll keep him on the weekends. You can go out, kind of keep your child, stay young, whatever. And so that gave me an opportunity to go out and get high for
Yeah.
weekend.
That was nice of her.
Well, it was until, the weekends turned into weekdays, and I'm doing blow a lot. I mean, coke. I don't know where. Oh, I do know where. I started getting into this coke, but um, it was a guy from Murray, Kentucky, and I ended up later on dating him. But he was a dealer, and but anyway, mom got sick and tired of my shit. Me going out all the time and not staying home with him, my baby, and taking care of him. So she kicked me out and kept my son.
She called Child Protective
No,
Services.
never got CPS involved. Never,
Okay.
never. So she just went and got an attorney and said, Lindsay, you're gonna sign this temporary custody over to me. And it was temporary,
Yeah.
but temporary turned into forever. She raised him 100%. I never did. He's my twin though. He looks just like me.
Really?
He's more like a little brother, honestly.
Is he?
I love him like he's
is,
my son, but
I mean, is he back in your life today? Or is it
yeah,
just?
I mean, we're not apart. We are apart, as far as living, like he lives 4 hours away. But like, I could text him, or I could, if I wanted to message him, and he would message me back. I think,
Okay.
we don't talk often, and I'll never see him. I've seen him once in the last, God, I don't know how many years, maybe 5+ years,
Really?
maybe more.
Damn.
Yeah. But that was, my mom, when I did that, when I left and I chose my drug use and my crazy lifestyle over my child and my family, she was done. And I get that, who wouldn't be?
And that's not abnormal, by the way.
No, no.
Women
No.
do that
Oh,
all
yeah,
the time.
yeah.
It's the
Except for
disease
I've
of
done it 3
addiction.
times. I've done it 3 times.
Oh, okay.
Not once, twice,
Okay,
but
well,
I'm on my third.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
like the disease of addiction is so powerful.
It is. And you know what? People say things like, how could you ever, what kind of mother, like, until you're there, don't fucking talk
Yeah.
to me for real,
Yeah.
So, but anyway, yeah, I ended up, so getting the coke from the dude in Murray, ended up kind of starting seeing him, and went to a party in Murray and met these chicks from Louisville, Kentucky, and they had an extra bedroom because I was just kind of couch hopping, and they had an extra bedroom that I could stay in for the summer. And so I did. And they didn't charge me rent or anything. They were just great girls. I
Damn.
loved them so much. They were so much fun. Now, can I remember the names? Hell no. But I know I had a good time, and they were great. But
Free rent.
yeah, and well, my boyfriend was a coke dealer, and they did coke. So
Perfect.
yeah, but there again, I had all the coke I wanted in the world from him. Right, so I stayed high. I remember I got into a pattern of staying up all night, sleeping. I would get up at 5 p.m. and start all over again every day, and it was so weird getting up that late. But anyway, I did that for a while, and then there was a small time during that time that me and the girls went to a party in Louisville, and I met a guy. His name's Grant, and he was a guy who I was telling you about earlier that was driving when my boyfriend had a seizure. Anyway, I fell head over heels in love with that dude, and I ended up staying in Louisville with him for about a month, and then he was like, "Oh no, this bitch is crazy." I'm sending her home. Called my mom. Was like, "Come get your daughter," and she did. She had no choice. It was wild. So yeah,
One month
yeah,
in,
1 month
and
in.
he pulled the
Yeah,
ripcord.
yeah. I mean, I wasn't working. I didn't have my car up here. I just rode up here with some girlfriends and stayed.
Right.
So it was kind of weird. It was very weird. So anyway, mom came back and got me, and let's see. At that time, I went home to my grandparents. I didn't go home to mom's. I went home to my grandparents. Um, Because my mom felt bad for me because, number one, she just got her heart broken by this guy. She'd been through heartache in her life. And I was devastatedly heartbroken over this situation. And so I think she felt for me, and was kind to me during that time. My mom's always been great, but she's hard. She's like no bullshit kind of person. And I give a lot of bullshit. So, but anyway, so I went home to my grandparents, and I'm like 19-ish, yeah, 19 here, and doing a whole lot of nothing, waiting tables, going out to the bar because I could get into certain bars, and doing a lot of coke, a lot of meth, and finally I had gotten a kidney infection, and my doctor prescribed me lower type 7.5s
Okay.
with a refill. And
So this is your first
this is my
opiate
first opiate.
experience.
Yeah, and this is where it all begins. Like, that's nothing. That's child's play, all
Yeah.
that.
Oh yeah.
And that was a lot of shit, you
Yeah.
know. But still. So I was waiting tables at Cracker Barrel, and I finally I took I take maybe three one
Are
time.
your grandparents kind of oblivious?
Oblivious.
Okay.
Because I'm a good girl,
Right.
and so I'm not a good girl, but seem to be.
Yes.
So
In their
in
eyes.
their eyes too, they know I'm not a good girl, but they want me to be so badly that they're thinking,
They convince themselves
yeah,
of that.
and yeah, that Lindsay does no wrong. But so, and I was the oldest. I don't want to say the favorite, but everyone knows I was granddaddy's favorite, and so yeah. But maybe not my Mimmy's, but my granddaddy's for sure. He's said it out loud. So,
Fair enough.
but anyway, no. So I was, I remember the day in my bedroom at their house when I took three of them, and I felt that euphoric
Three
buzz.
7.5s.
7.5s, yeah. And I finally felt that,
Oh yeah.
you know, just a wave. I can feel it. It's almost, if you think about hard enough, no, you can't. But I was just in love. Just like, oh my God, this is exactly what I need. I fuck all that other stuff. This is
Yeah, it's
what I'm supposed to
perfect.
be taking, supposed to be
Perfect.
doing. Yeah, and so I had the refill, but I went through those. I ate those like jujubes. Those were gone.
Yeah.
But I was waiting tables in restaurants. You can find anything. And so I did. I found a black girl who could get me pills all the time, and she did. She was getting me like the tins, the the pink speckled.
Yeah, the tins.
Yeah.
Yeah. That
And
didn't have acetaminophen.
right,
They're
right, right.
small.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
you could snort them.
Yes. Well, I never did that. I never snorted anything unless it was like an OC, an OxyContin. I never snorted like a tab or anything. That's a lot.
Okay.
No, I take that back. I did one time in a bar, and it's a lot. A
Well,
lot.
the tabs have Tylenol
Yeah,
in them.
and no, what I snorted was a
But
tab. It was a
Oh,
lot, a big,
okay.
big, huge line.
But those tins that are pink
Yes,
do
they
not
do not have
have.
acetaminophen in it.
Yes.
Yeah, right, right. And so so I started, I was using pills and stuff a lot. And my grandmother had knee replacement surgery, and she had a shit ton of everything, a
Stockpile.
stockpile, and it was oxycodone tins, and it was like the little round ones. But anyway, she didn't take them. She didn't abuse them or take them even really for pain, not very much. So I could go in there and take, 3 or 4 or 5 a day, and no one was the wiser until the bottle was out. And then
Did you
even then,
try to replace them with
no,
something?
even then, no one said anything. No one ever said, "Oh, Lindsay, did you, anything?" Nothing was said. It was like, just, you know,
Interesting.
no one paid,
Yeah. No
kind of
one's paying
ignored it,
attention.
ignored
Yeah.
it. And then, let's see, my sister, she, she's 18 months younger than me. She graduated school in 2002 and went to U of L and University of Louisville, and she was working at UPS, and she had had some like knee problems when we were in high school. And I remember when we were in high school, she dislocated her kneecap one time, and the ball of her kneecap came over to the side of her leg, and it was the ugliest shit I've ever seen in my life. But they had to carry her out of her bedroom window because our hall in our house went, 90-degree angle, so they couldn't get a stretcher down there. But that was gross. But anyway, she had some knee problems, and she ended up having to have like surgery. And her roommate at the time was a guy, and he was like taking advantage of her, like not paying rent, and had his girlfriend over all the time, and just treating her like shit. And
Had his. I'm sorry.
his girlfriend over all the time.
So wait, she was
No,
dating.
she wasn't with the guy. They were just
Okay.
friends, roommates.
Okay.
Okay,
Gotcha.
yeah.
Gotcha.
And so she'd come home for Christmas, and this was 2003. She'd come home for Christmas and told me about all this, and I'm big sister. I'm like, oh, hell no. No, I'm not doing anything but waiting tables, bartending down there in Paduka. So I'll come up there for a week or so and stay with you and hash things out. And so I did. I kicked him to the fucking curb like within a few days. But I met some Iraqi dudes across the hall who had shit ton of pills. And they were from Iraq. And they were, what is it? Not like refugees, but I don't know what the right word is.
Immigrants.
They were immigrants, but they were, when you get displaced because of war.
Oh shit.
Oh, I
I
can't
don't
think.
know the word
But
either.
anyway, you know what I'm talking about.
Yes.
So they came over in the 90s during the Gulf War, the first
Okay.
war. And so they were all, well, they spoke English really well.
Mhm.
Now, they were perverts, but, most guys are to an extent, whatever. So it's just something women have to deal with. I wish for.
Especially with drugs.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
In the
yeah.
drug
And when
game.
you're in that
Yeah.
game, yeah, for sure, because it's almost like give a little to get a little.
Yep.
But I've never given a tiny bit ever, so I might have made someone think I was going to,
Right.
but
Right.
that's neither here nor
Play
there.
the game.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah, they had, and how in the world they had all these pills, but they were prescribed them, and I'm talking about huge bottles of tins, lower type tins or whatever, and they would give them to me for the best. Like I was getting them for like $2-3 a piece. No
Damn.
shit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's cheap.
yeah. In '03, very cheap. So I got a job up in Louisville. I moved to Louisville with my sister. I ended up moving there, and got a job at Chili's waiting tables. I was going out drinking a lot, partying with some girls that I work with.
You just
And
love the waiting table bar
that's all I've
scene.
ever done. I've
Just
always waited
all.
tables and bartended. That's my job.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I've always done. 25 years. Yep.
I mean, it's.
It's
Yeah,
hey, it's good
it's
money.
a
It's the only
party.
money that it's the only job that a woman can do in America without a college degree and still make 100 grand a year if you want to,
I mean, yeah, you can.
easily,
You easily
easily.
can in the right
Yeah,
restaurant.
yeah, yeah, yep. So so yeah, I moved to Louisville, and me and my sister, we're close in age, but we are total opposites. She is she does good, and I do not. I'm blonde and she's brunette. We are just polar opposites. But so she and I ended up kind of getting into some tiffs, and obviously I wasn't paying rent because I was going out and doing drugs all the time. And the I had no clue when I started taking Lortabs, taking pills, that they that you could really get like hooked on them and get sick coming off of them. And so these pills were starting to take a toll on me to where I,
Yep.
I had to have them to
Physically
go to work.
dependent.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. And I started realizing that, and I started kind of, it's changed my mindset of how I thought about myself, because I started thinking, like I'm a junkie. Like you know, like I did all these other drugs, but I never, I did it for fun,
It's hard
whatever.
to
But this
turn.
is like I have to have it type shit. And so this is what you hear about in like the movies, like train spotting and shit, like, people getting sick. And I'm like,
Yeah.
oh God, I'm that.
Yeah. You can't turn that train around very
Mm-mm.
easily.
No, no, no. And it can only get worse, right?
Yep.
And it did. And so I moved to Indiana with a good guy friend of mine. He had a house in Jeffersonville where I live now. And he was from back home where we are. And so we were friends for a long, long time. And he needed a roommate, so I moved in with him. And he and I had so much fun together. We went to Bonnaroo, '04, which was this when Bonnaroo was not mainstream.
Mm-hmm.
This was like The Dead was playing there, Dave Matthews Band, Fish,
Okay.
and I'm a huge Fish head. So,
I have a buddy who loves fish.
I went to Fish '04 that year for the first time. No, I went '02 for the first time, but we went to Fish '04 that year too. But I went '03 too. I've been seeing Fish so many times. So
Tripping.
tripping, speeding, nodding, you name it. I've done it, but
All of it.
yeah, all of it. Yeah. So, but yeah, he and I had so much fun together until I met a guy. His name was John, and I liked him at first, but I thought he was something different than what he was. He was
This guy friend of yours, do you think he wanted to be with
oh,
you?
100%. 100%. But here's the thing about that is he was my sister's ex. So they had been together. They
Ew.
moved to Louisville together. But I hooked them up because he and I were really good friends before they started dating. I'm the one who hooked them up. And but they fell off, and he and I remained friends, of course, and she was fine. They were friends still. They had a good split. They just realized they weren't good together,
Mm-hmm.
And so yeah, yeah, so that was weird. So I couldn't and I wouldn't be with someone that my little sister was with, right? But he did want, he did it seemed to get weird. Like our friendship turned into him kind of liking me more and more. And I was like,
That's how it goes. I
mhm.
mean,
Yeah, yeah, especially you're going out every night to dinner, drinks,
yeah. I mean,
playing
yeah.
ping pong, dancing,
Yeah.
whatever. It turns, but it never got intimate with us ever. Never, never, never. We I always steered towards someone else, dated out, I was always looking for and he was always looking at me. And I feel bad, or I felt bad. I don't really feel bad now, but he's still my friend. I love him to death. But so I haven't seen him or spoke to him in a long time, but it's like a lifelong friendship, you'd always have that. But let's see. So, like I said, I met this guy. His name was John. John, I don't want to say his last name, but this was the end of '04, October of '04. And he and I started dating. I soon after moved in with him. I mean, just really quickly. And we stayed together. We partied and we had all kinds of house parties and stuff. And now, all this time that I'm dating him, he's already had a past where he's been arrested and SWAT team came in his house and everything. Like he spent 6 months in jail and did a long time on
For,
probation. He was selling mushrooms, chocolates,
okay.
and getting them through the mail or whatever. But I had nothing to do with that. I didn't even know him then. But anyway, he had a past with opiates too. And one night I was at his house, and this was right before I moved in. And I was like, "Hey, I've got to go somewhere real quick. I'll be right back. 30 minutes, 20, 30 minutes." He's like, "Where are you going?" I was like, I just have to run and do something real quick. It's just an errand I have to run. I had to go get some pills."
Mm-hmm.
And so I come back and I had enough where I could give him one. And I said, "Hey, do you want one of these?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, sure." And so I got him right back on him. And I kind of feel bad about that now, but because he was sober from drugs.
Right.
He smoked pot and drank, but that's I don't I mean alcohol, yeah, but it depending on how you do it, right?
Right.
So Anyway, so we both started taking them, taking pills, and then we started finding other dealers who had oxys. Because
Uh,
I'd
just
dabbled with
wondering.
oxys here and there, but not a lot. And so we started getting oxys, breaking them down, snorting them. And I remember one day we worked together too at this call center. It was for Sprint. Fuck that place. But anyway, he was like a supervisor. Excuse me, and I called into work because I was super sick. I was dope sick, and he could push through. I could not. I'm laying in bed and he gets home from work.
He can push through work.
Yeah, yeah. I'm laying in bed. He comes home from work and his brother comes over with an Oxy 40. John doesn't tell me about it. He just takes it. And why he orally took that, I don't know, because it
Yeah.
doesn't do the same. I mean,
What a waste, right?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. It doesn't do the same thing,
Yeah.
So, but I found out a few minutes later, and I shoved him. And when I shoved him, I went to walk away, and when I did, he grabbed me, threw me through the kitchen table. I busted my eye open on the side of the window ledge, and had to go to the hospital. My eye was black. I had like a hematoma inside my eye, and at this time, yeah,
Jesus.
that was the first time. Um, so I've never been in like an abusive relationship before. So I didn't know, I went through all the things that they say you go through, of like the denial. Oh, it was my fault. I shoved him as my fault, so,
Was
um,
your habit so big that 20 milligrams, if you had split it, wouldn't have done shit?
no, it would have gotten me well at that time. It would have gotten me well.
Yeah.
So I didn't have a huge habit at this time, right? And, I don't feel like I've ever really had like where it's been a lot that's had to take a lot. Like I've never had to take a, um, like 2 or 3 tenths shot, like it's 1/10 and I'm good, or even half a tenth and I'm good, well. And it was all always to me about getting well because um, little did I ever have the money to get super duper high, until I got with Sean. But anyway, we kept on taking pills and doing the thing or whatever, and I got pregnant. And we had a baby in March of 2006, and his name's Eli. And I remember when I was in the hospital after I'd given birth, because we were taking pills when I was pregnant. I was just taking lower amounts,
Damn.
and it was bad. It was so bad. But when I was in the hospital after I'd had him, John would tell me, you have to cheek your pain pills that they give you every 3 hours. Give them to me. You go put them underneath the toilet in the bathroom. And I did. I would cheek them. My mother's sitting here, John's sitting here. I would cheek them and go into the bathroom and stick them under a napkin, tissue box, whatever. Sorry. And he would go in there and get them, after I've just had the baby. Yeah, it gets worse with him. But anyway,
What the fuck? That is some of the most selfish bullshit I've ever heard in my life.
more selfish than like blacking my eye
I
again
mean,
because he did
that's
that.
that's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah. So then,
You just had his fucking child.
yeah.
It's wild.
Yeah, he was something else. Anyway, go home. We have the baby. I get a good job waiting tables down on 4th Street Live, which I don't know if you're aware of that what that is, but it's like this whole street downtown Louisville that they shut off because you can drink in the street, and they have like a Hard Rock Cafe down there. And I got a job. We opened the TGI Fridays down there, and I loved it. I made so much money down there. I mean, it was because when it first opened, everyone in the city flooded down there.
Oh, I'm
They'd stay
sure.
open till 4 o'clock in
I'm
the morning,
sure.
and I mean, we'd have like $200 or $300 every single night, and I'm talking like 4 or 5 hour shifts. 4 or 5
Damn.
hours, and I've got
Yeah.
$300 coming home, and so I was like, yeah, this is great. And back then, of course, that was really good. Now you probably make more than that, but anyway, so one day I was taking him to work, taking John to work before I had to go to work, and we didn't have any pain pills, and we were both sick. And he said, "Before you go to work, you'd better go and get something. Bring it back to me before you go." And at work, and I'm like, okay. So that was what I had to do, right? I couldn't do that because I couldn't find anything, and so he told me. So I called into work, and he said he was coming home from work for me to come get him. So I went to get him, and on the way driving back home, we're arguing and fussing, and I was driving, and he backhanded me across. I'm sorry again. He backhanded me across the face right here, and I saw stars when he hit me. He hit me so hard, and I'm driving too, so I had to slam on the brakes and kind of skid off the road, and he blacked that eye again, and but this time it was swollen shut, and I'm waiting tables, down here at this great
Yeah,
place,
yeah.
and I still got to go to work, and that black eye won't heal for 2 weeks. So anyway, I went home and I did the whole frozen cold spoon,
I was
bag of
gonna say,
peas.
what was your
I tried to do everything makeup.
what
There's
was
no.
your excuse to your
Oh, that
guests when you waited tables?
I hit my eye on the corner of my Toyota Camry door,
Oh,
my car door, because I'm just short enough where maybe that would make sense. I
okay.
don't know. And so that's what I told everyone. And but I had a regular table that came in every week of 4 local FBI agents, and they were my regulars, and they called bullshit on it. And I told them the truth, and they said, "Do you want us to pay him a visit?" And I said, "Fuck no, that'll only make it worse," and it would have, But they offered to do that, and I thought that was just
They
so cool.
sniffed it out.
Yeah, oh yeah, yeah, But anyway, so he and I stayed together and had our son. Um, it came to an end when Eli was a year and a half, and John threw me down a flight of stairs in front of him. And when he did, I stood up and I said, "That's it. I'm done getting beat. I don't want my son to think that beating women is
Yeah,
okay. That this is
witness
the way to
that.
raise people." And I told him that, and I said, "I don't love you. Get the fuck out." And he said, "I've never loved you. I'm gone," and left.
God.
So, and this was June of 2008. So we were together for about 2.5 years. No, a little over, maybe 3 years. But, and so then I had Eli, but we did 3.5 days a week, 3.5 days a week. So he would come and get him. He was staying with his mother. And
50-50.
yeah, 50-50. Yeah. He was staying with his mom, and I had the apartment, which I could not afford by myself, which was only $375 a month for 2 bedroom, 1.5 bath.
And you were making all that money?
But I'm at this time I'm buying, I'm buying tabs. And I start buying. This is when I start getting on Xanax. I'm buying weed. I'm buying alcohol. I've got to pay for food. I didn't have food stamps or anything like that.
God.
So, and then gas, and I've never been really good with money anyway. So, it's cash. So I'll make it back tomorrow type
Sure.
thing. So anyway, let's see, I started going to the methadone clinic just before he and I split up. That's what it was. I started going to the methadone clinic because I could not take the sickness from coming off those pills
So was
anymore.
this an effort to actually make a change, or was this an effort just to get
Just so I
rid
could
of the
stay well.
sickness so you
Just
could
so I
stay
could stay
well?
well. It was a for sure way that I could stay well. And I thought anybody who doesn't do this is stupid.
Was
No.
this when they did the liquid,
Oh
or
yeah,
was
it
this the
was liquid.
wafers?
No,
It
it
was
was liquid.
liquid.
They still did the waivers, but you had to be like a medical patient at that time.
The wafers were
Look
crazy.
crazy. Yeah, I got the wafers one time we went to Chicago.
Holy
When I guest dosed
shit.
there, yeah, that was awesome. Oh, let me tell you this. Let me back up just a second because I didn't tell you this. In '03, I was living in Paduka bartending just before my sister came home and told me this story, and I had to go to Louisville. Um, I was at home in Paduka bartending, and I did a wafer for the first time. I did a 40 milligram wafer.
Took the whole thing?
Look, I was bartending and I was taking tabs, and the girl that I work with who was getting me the tabs, she said, I asked her, I said, "Do you have any more tabs?" She's like, "No, my brother only had these." And she was like, "Here's what you do. You put it in a little shot glass of water, dissolve it, and then take it like a shot." I was like, "Okay." And she's like, "They're really strong, so be careful." I'm like, "Okay." I didn't know that they could hurt you. No, I did the whole 40 milligram wafer and overdosed.
Yeah, I bet you
I
did.
started vomiting up blood, and I was shutting down. And it was my sister's birthday. I didn't even realize it was her birthday. And I called my mom and I'm like, "Mom, something's really, really wrong with me." And I have my own apartment and stuff. And she was like, "What, Lindsay?" "I'm not coming to get you. This is bullshit. It's your sister's birthday. We're cutting their cake." And I'm like, "Oh, Mom, I think I'm really done at this time. Like, I think I might be really sick." And so she sent her boyfriend at the time over, and he found me collapsed in the bathroom, blood coming out of my mouth. And so he picked me up,
Jesus
cradled me,
Christ.
took me into the hospital, and I was in liver failure. And they had to intubate me with a tube and pump this medication down to restore my liver functions for like, I was in ICU for a week or so. And
Damn.
yeah, it was terrible. My uncle, my mother's brother, brought my little cousins who were teenage. Well, my little cousin Morgan, she's like 10 years younger than me, so she would have been 10, 11 ish. Brought them into the hospital to look and see this is what drugs do, kids. You know, scare the shit out of them.
I mean,
Yeah.
I speak in schools and I tell my story exactly how it
Yeah.
goes to eighth graders and,
Yeah.
and
Because you
10th
know what?
graders.
Had I known that, there was there's a fear factor there, I was never afraid. You know, I didn't know that
Well,
they
you
could.
just didn't know.
Yeah, I was ignorant to
You
the
were
fact that
never
they could hurt
given
me.
any
Yeah, never
information.
knowledge on. Yeah,
Yeah.
that this was just good stuff. Not it wouldn't kill you stuff. You know, whatever. So yeah, so let me go. So going forward, I just want to tell you that quick story because that was a wild one, and that has a lot to do with everything because I've had kidney problems, liver problems all through my life now.
Is
But
this all drug related
yeah,
or is
all drug
this
related, one hundred
okay?
percent. Yep, 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 yep. I've done it to myself. But yeah, so John and I break up in this August 2000 or June 2008, and I'm going to the clinic, and I see Sean. And Sean has on a fish shirt. Sean is 6'2". Sean was dreamy. I thought, I've always liked tall, skinny dudes. Anyway, I don't know, it's my thing. But and I have a thing about noses. Like I like big noses. I don't know. That's weird.
Okay.
But he has on a fish t-shirt and he's got this long hair, and I'm like, oh, he's my dude. Like he's my type of dude
Yeah.
anyway. And I just thought he was so cute. And I'm taking benzos at this time too. Right before John and I broke up, I started getting Xanax off a chick. And she told me that if you mix a Xanax and methadone, it'll feel great. And boy, does it ever. That was my thing
Gotta
right
be
there.
careful.
Opiates and benzos,
Gotta
my
be
thing. Oh,
careful.
I know.
That shit will
Yeah,
kill you
it
so
will. But
fast.
luckily, I've never died, and I've taken a shit ton because, oh God. Uh, anyway, um, so I met Sean, and I gave him my number, and we set up a date for like a Saturday, and he stood me up, motherfucker,
Really?
motherfucker stood me up the first time.
They
Yeah,
ghosted?
ghosted. I was fucking. I was. I took a picture of myself with my little flip phone crying.
Did you send it to
And
him?
then I showed it to him. Yeah, like so pathetic. But and I'll never let him live that down either. But a week later, he saw me again at the clinic, and a week later, he's like, "Yeah, come get me." But I think this, because he's a drug addict too, right? And I was getting benzos. And I was steady getting benzos from people and Xanax, and this older lady, she was getting her script of bars on this Thursday and had it all set up, go to the clinic, take the old lady to the clinic. She goes to the clinic. We're going to go get her bars, get high, have a good day. And so that day, get high and go pick up Sean. So I go pick up Sean. When I pick up Sean, I hand him 4 bars. And he's like, oh, yeah, this is my bitch.
Damn, yeah, that's
No, but it's,
four bars for free is
yeah,
not nothing.
no, not nothing. We ended up going and getting the entire bottle that night. But yeah, he and I just hit it off. We were just like running buddies from the very start. He was on the methadone too. His thing was Xanax too, but his
Oh
thing was
boy.
also crack cocaine too.
Oh.
And I never smoked crack, and so I did, and I fucking loved it. I loved it because I love coke, but I really love that wom 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 of the crack
Yep,
feeling.
the
Oh
the
God.
old bell ringer.
Yeah, bell ringer. You don't get a bell if you don't get a bell ringer, you ain't doing it right,
No.
right? So, I remember it was 1 week to the day after he and I got together. He and I got together August 8th, 2008. Um, we had $50 to our name. We went and got a $10 bag of crack.
$50 to your name.
To our names, yeah.
Okay.
To our names.
And so you're
and my son is with his grandparents, or his dad and his grandparents.
and you're gonna figuring out how you're gonna divvy up this $50
Yeah,
to
so
buy
we went and got
drugs.
no, let me take that back. So we had a little bit more money than that. I think we had 100 to our names because we'd already gone over there and gotten crack twice. So I'm guessing we got 250.
Which is very common.
Yeah, yeah. And then so we had $50 left to our name.
Explain that to our viewers how crack works. Where you go to get a 20,
and then the
and
second it's
then
over, you're going to
you're
get
going
another
to
one.
get another
I mean,
20.
why not just buy a big
I
bunch
know.
at one time? No, because you don't want to, because you're not going to do that much, you know.
You never think it's going to be like that.
No.
And you go back 20, 20, 20, 20,
yeah.
20.
My 30 got me 6 felonies. Yeah.
God
So,
damn.
yeah, that night I'd only ever had a DUI when I was 23 that got dropped for reckless driving. That's the only time I'd ever gotten arrested.
Okay.
And that was my birthday, my 23rd birthday. They sung me happy birthday when I got into jail. No shit. But
They sung you happy
yeah,
with the
yeah,
inmates?
the cops did.
Oh, the cops.
Yeah, the cops did. Yeah, the cops. Oh, it is your birthday. Because I was like, it's my birthday. And they're like, oh, it is your birthday. Happy birthday. And I was like, you fucking assholes. That was funny, though. They were
funny.
nice
It
to me.
is
They were
kinda
kind to me. But anyway, and that got dropped for reckless driving. So it was like nothing, you know.
Right.
And then, so we were in Beecher Terrace, which is a projects in Louisville. Everyone knows this if you know Louisville.
Oh, boy.
You know. And
It's a project.
no,
So it
yeah,
doesn't fucking
and
matter,
Beecher Terrace is a very popular, I don't know, popular, famous is the right word, but anyway, it's the projects, and you don't see white people there, so, and you definitely don't see little blonde white people driving a Toyota Camry there
Nope.
at 11 o'clock at night with their headlights off, because that's what I did pulling out from getting my 30, and
Why?
for some
Why
unknown
in the
reason,
fuck?
look, I folded the 30 up in a $10 bill like a square.
Okay.
Why did I do this? I have no idea, because that hurt going in, you know where, and those
I
corners.
fucking bet it
Because look, I am pulling out of Beecher Terrace with no lights on. Go to turn left. There's a minivan sitting across the street from me at the time with his lights on. I think he's coming out. It's a minivan, you know, whatever. I turn left. Whoa, four-wheelers. And I have, before I can get, because I have a little dress on, before I can get my hand out of my skirt, I've got a 9 right here. And Sean's got one at his head too. And there's four-wheelers coming up. They're like, oh, we got you now.
Why are they
It
on
was
your
the
ass?
drug unit. It was a big drug unit. They were doing huge drug busts over
Okay,
there.
okay.
And they were really, really, really trying to
They're
get people.
pushing to get to the
they're-
top.
They were trying to get people from Indiana to quit coming over to Kentucky, because it's just right across the Ohio River. Quit trying to get them to come over, because we were flooding the place, coming over and getting crack and stuff
Okay.
and heroin.
Okay.
But they were trying to cut that out. And they'd already busted. Sean's dad got busted by the same people that morning. Another friend of ours got busted later on that afternoon, and I got it. But look, when the cops pulled me over, they got me out of the car and they said, you know, what do you have on you? And we saw your, when they pulled up, they said, her hand's coming over skirt, her hand's coming over skirt. And I was like, fuck. And it was just too fast. They were just too fast.
Yeah.
And so they got me out there like either.
They must have been quick.
They were so quick. I mean, before that was the minivan. They were in the minivan. It was a drug unit, and like it was probably 6 or 8 cops come out, and then 2 on four-wheelers, and
Fucking four-wheelers?
four-wheelers in the projects is what they do. Yeah, yeah. Everybody knows this. I mean, this was
What the fuck?
yeah, this is wild. They were doing like this big drug thing. I'm trying to bust people, but I swear to this day, and I don't give a shit what anybody says, my dealer had to have gotten busted, turned and said, I'll give you some people up, because that little motherfucker was walking across the yard, and I said, there's the dealer right there. Go get his ass.
Oh,
And they
you,
didn't-
oh, you,
I didn't give a
oh,
shit.
you fucking flipped on him
I didn't give a shit.
immediately.
But look, he was the same dealer who got Sean's dad, same dealer who got our friend.
Right.
He was turning all of us in. He'd flip, you know, he did this to us. And so, you know, you kind of knew it, you
What if
know,
he was
like
a
right
CI?
away. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he'd gotten busted, and in order for him to make a deal, it was something like, I'll give you a certain amount of people, you know. And so they didn't care at all. But they did say, look at you and look at him. He's skinny. He's obviously the crackhead. And I said, no. This is my dope, because I didn't have a driver's license. I didn't have like so many different things, and I was like, I'm not gonna push this off on someone else. I'm taking this charge.
I mean, you're fucked either way.
Yeah, either right.
Yeah.
But he was able to drive off in my car with my cell phone and my house keys after 1 week of knowing him, and I'm going to jail with 6 felony charges.
Oh
Yeah.
boy.
Yeah. So,
First time to jail.
big Louisville
Well,
jail too.
second,
Well,
second, but
but
first
this
real
is going to
stay.
Louisville,
Yeah.
Louisville Metro. I mean, it's stories of jails. It's crazy. But anyway, I went in there and fit right in. It was like, I
The
mean,
women
yeah,
normally get
yeah,
along pretty good.
we did well to an extent, yeah. But I was fine. The only thing is, I started getting sick. Um,
Tell us about that.
oh my God, I don't wish it on my worst enemy. I really don't. I don't really have any enemies, but I really don't wish it. It's the worst thing
I
ever.
think it's like the worst,
It's when
top
they
three
say,
worst experiences I've
"Oh
ever had in
yeah,
my
yeah,
life
yeah,
is
for sure, yeah,
detoxing in jail.
yeah, yeah, yeah." Because, well, you know what? I'd rather detox in jail than I would on the streets, because
You can't get it.
you can't get it, so
So
it's
you
not
don't
it's
think
a not
about it.
right. But on the streets, you can get it, or you may be able to get it.
Yes.
So it hurts worse. I don't know.
No, your brain
Uh-huh.
doesn't fucking shut off.
Right,
How can
right,
I get money? How
right.
can I
And
get
in
money?
jail,
How
it's
can I
like
get money?
boom, shut down. You're
Yeah.
shut down. You're cut off.
You're done.
Yeah. So I see how it's really easy to get sober in jail. You know, and I
You have a
say,
choice.
right. I say that too. Is it's easy to sober up in jail? My God, But then you've got shit coming in the jails too if you're in there long enough.
Right.
But so anyway, this was on a Thursday night. By Friday morning, Friday midday, I'm starting to get really sick, and so the girls in there, the only thing they could do was give me a rollie, a cigarette, and they did. But that just made me even more sick smoking that thing. But Sunday they had court. Yeah, and so I went down for court on Sunday, and
They do court on Sundays.
yeah, they do weekend court in jail
Really?
in Louisville.
Really?
Yep, yep. Because they have so many
Shit, that's
fucking
nice.
arrests. Yeah, so yeah, it's awesome though to have weekend court. So you have to
Yeah.
wait till Monday.
You have to
In
wait.
Indiana, you're locked up on Friday. You're staying until Monday for
Yeah,
sure.
same thing in Ohio.
Yep. So we had Sunday court, and Sean was there. He was on the other side of the screen. I couldn't fucking believe it because I didn't know him. I'd only known him a
Right.
week. And what did I know of him is that he liked crack.
He had a fish shirt.
He had
long hair.
he was a hippie.
He was dreamy.
Yeah, he was dreamy. Yeah, yeah. But I didn't know a lot about him, But I knew he had my car, my house, and so I'm praying to God that I've still got these things, right?
Right.
And then he's there. He shows up for me, and I was just like, oh my God, like I love him so much. Like this is wonderful, So, and I do, because we're still together 17 years later.
Yeah.
But for him to have showed up, that just meant so much. And so the judge OR'd me, and
You had an OR for that shit?
yeah.
6 felonies?
Look, I have 9 felonies on my record, and I've never done more than 4 days in jail.
It's unbelievable.
Never. And I say, and
That
I
is
don't
such
care what anybody
bullshit.
says, I
That's-
feel like that is kind of white privilege. I mean, because any black person I feel like in my
Fuck that. I did a
shoes,
year and a half probably
or
combined.
any other person, maybe like I don't know. I'm just lucky as
You just
cross my heart.
You just got lucky on
Yeah,
those.
I still am. My
'Cause-
probation officer to this day is so cool. But you know what? I think it's because I'm just kind of brutally honest. I'm just like, I don't try to bullshit.
Right.
And that's with everything,
That does help.
Yeah, yeah.
It does help
I'm
with
honest to a
them.
fault almost, But anyway, so let's see. Yeah, so I get out of jail. We kind of go back to the same thing. I get evicted from that apartment because I'm not paying my rent. And he and I start kind of hopping from hotel to hotel to hotel. And this is how he lived. And this is how he lived until 2010. And the summer of 2010, we are going to the clinic. We meet this dude at the clinic, an older cat.
Clinic is where you can meet everybody.
Oh, hey, let me tell you something. The clinic is the fucking trap.
Yes,
I mean, if you want to go get high, go to the clinic.
Yeah.
You can get anything there.
It's nuts.
Anything. So anyway, yeah. So we meet this older guy. He's from Chicago. And we just love him. He's like a gangster for real. I feel like, yeah, like he was. He was a Vietnam War vet. So he's an older guy.
Older guy.
Yeah. And he loves the needle, like loves heroin. And let me back up just a second because you know what? I haven't even gone to me. I've already shot up dope at this point, and I haven't even gone to that. I totally skipped over that. I'm so sorry.
You had or you had
I
not?
have.
You have.
Yeah, I
Okay.
have. My story's like skipping
That's okay.
So
Once you started with the needle, did you ever
no, never
go
stopped.
back?
Oh hell, do you?
No.
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 Okay, so no. No. Okay, so 2006. 2006, I had my little boy. Me and John, let me go back to this. So me and John are still together, and his family and stuff is not really helping us up in Indiana, and so I'm like, I'll get more help if I move back home. My dad had a 2 bedroom, 2 bath house he owned for rent. My biological dad, and so he let me rent it, and it had a garage and everything. He let me rent it for $600 a month, and that was everything included, electricity, everything. And it was a nice little house, had a paved driveway. It was
Yeah.
cute, really cute house. But anyway, so I moved back to Paducah with John and Eli. And the very night that we pulled in with that 24-foot U-Haul, I jumped out, and we live on Fulton Drive in Paducah. And everyone knows Fulton Drive is uh, the ghetto.
Okay.
It's the ghetto. I'm not. We're the only white people on the block. And so I jump out, and I see this man, standing on his porch, and he's waving. I went over and I waved. I said, "Do you know where I can get any pain pills?" He said, "Absolutely." So right there, I've got my connect. Okay, within 5 minutes. So I'm like, "All right, good."
First thing.
Yes, settle that. Settle that. That's
Okay,
done.
good. Got
Yes.
that out of the
Now
way.
I can be here. So yeah, so I just get a job waiting tables. He gets a job. My cousin actually got him a job as a manager of a cell phone store, and they sold like different types of cell phones. It was like an everything cell phone store, and it wasn't like just like one particular like Apple or something. And so we worked, and then John came home one day, and he had like $200 in his pocket, and he said, "Yeah, there's a It was like in a strip mall, and there was a Mexican restaurant next door." And he said that the owner of the Mexican restaurant needed help with his computer. I ended up helping with his computer, and he gave me $200. I was like, "Oh, that's fucking awesome! That's great! Hell yeah!"
Yeah.
He's like, "I think it's something I might be able to do often." I was like, "Okay, cool," and I was none the wiser. And that was a fucking lie, because like 6 months later, I come home from work, and he's sitting on the couch. He's like, "I've got to talk to you." And I'm like, "What?" He's like, "Well, I've been embezzling money, all the money that I brought home, and this is like $200 or $300 a day. Okay. All the money I've brought home has been coming out of the register. The cops know, they've investigated, and I'm leaving." He's running. Okay. And he takes a bong, he takes a fifth of whiskey and his clothing, my Toyota Camry, and heads to Indiana. And I'm in Western Kentucky with our son, a 2 bedroom house, and I'm driving my granddad's little beat up pickup truck, and he's gone. That's now this abusive one, right? So
Yep.
I wouldn't think anything less, right?
Right.
And so yeah, he left, and he came up here and got a job and was running from the cops, and he did. He ran successfully for like 4 years.
It's pretty good.
4 years they got him, and then he did 15 months. But anyway, and that's how he sobered up. And when he got out of jail, oh boy, did he ever think he was so much better than me. The night he went to jail, he was sleeping on. Oh, excuse me. He was sleeping on my. I had a new apartment, and I didn't have it furnished yet. He was sleeping on my living room floor because he was homeless. But and then he got arrested and did 15 months. He come out, and
Once
he's
he
so
got clean, he was
yeah,
the man.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, wrong attitude to have.
yeah,
For sure.
yeah. So anyway, yeah. I go back to that. So during that time, I ended up, I couldn't afford the house by myself, and my family all knew about this because my cousin was friends with the owner. I had to go and talk to the detective to make sure I wasn't involved,
Right.
because how could she not know? I had no clue, no clue. I really didn't. And so they cleared me or whatever, and me and Eli ended up moving in with my mother. And on Super Bowl Sunday, I'll never forget, I was sick, and so I knew my grandmother had codeine syrup because she had a bad cough, and I knew she had that at her house. So when they all got to my mother's house for Super Bowl Sunday, I said, "I'll be right back. I'm gonna run to the store and get cigarettes." I ran right down to my grandmother's, drank that whole bottle of syrup, filled it up with water, and went back and had a great Super Bowl. Well, my grandmother went to take the syrup and obviously noticed it wasn't syrup, and knew exactly who took it, and confronted me the next day. And my grandmother, remember, she's ignored all this. She's the only one who's
Yep.
really ignored. So when she confronted me, I was like, "Oh God, I'm a fucking terrible person," and I was. Um, but she said, "Lindsay, I want you to get help." And so I went into rehab for the first time, and it was a William H. Fuller Center in Mayfield, Kentucky, 28-day program. And the fucked up thing is that my best friend at the time, who I was running and gunning with, her name was Tina. Uh, she had to be court ordered into rehab just a few days earlier. She was there, so it was a party. We had the best time. We just goofed off the whole time. And there was this guy there named Joel, and I just thought he was the cutest thing ever. And he was with, all the rest of us come off pills or coke or alcohol, but Joel was coming off methadone. And methadone was big. I thought, oh, that's cool. Like he's cool. He's coming off a harder drug, like a big, he's a big drug addict,
That
like
sounds so
I
ridiculous.
know, doesn't it, right? I always had like this like weird fantasy or like weird like look at like heroin addicts, like, oh, that's kind of hot, like that's cool, like that's, I don't know, it's so like, I don't know, to me,
It's
isn't that
interesting.
so
It's
weird?
interesting.
Yeah, so it's like the little girl who wants to grow up and be a stripper. No one ever says they want to grow up and be a drug addict, but some
No.
people fantasize about it. Maybe, I don't know, maybe it's a little bit too much, but anyway, no, I didn't. But so when I get out, and so Joel and I start talking, clicking up or whatever. When we get out, we have this,
You've got a terrible picker.
oh my God, do I
It's
ever?
fucking
Do
terrible.
I fucking ever?
God.
Yeah, but so 2 days I get out. 2 days later he gets out, and that day we went and got OxyContin, and he had a dealer, and we were getting Oxy 80s for $20 a piece. $20 a
Ooh.
piece. It was love, love. Not only did she got Oxy 80s, she got the Oxy RR 10s and Oxy RR 20s. Her mother got the Oxy RR 20s, and she got the Oxy RR 10s, and you could just eat those, and
Yeah.
you'd still get, And but anyway, so we were getting the 80s for $20 a piece, but the second day, for some reason, we couldn't get a hold of her, and so we're at his house, his dad's house. His dad, God rest his soul, he looked and acted just like Bob Dylan. If there was ever an impersonator, and he didn't mean to, he was just like, I don't know, it's funny, but he was such a cool dude. He was prescribed K8s, dilaudid K8s, and had a whole bottle of them in his thing.
I remember 'em.
Joe snatched those right up, brought them in there. I had no clue what they were,
They're amazing.
And he's like, oh, are they ever made?
Amazing.
That's the first thing I shot up.
Oh my
And
God.
look,
That was the
look,
first thing you shot
this is
up?
so fucked up. This is so crazy. So we didn't have a needle. We did not have a rig. And Joel's like, can you get a needle? I was like, yeah, my grandmother's diabetic. He's like, go home, get one. I did not know what I was fucking looking for. My grandfather had horses. And I'm up in the cabinet. I get a fucking horse needle, like a 20 I don't know what it is.
20 gauge.
20 gauge.
Yeah.
The holes, you can see
Yeah,
through the
it's
hole.
massive.
Yeah, I take that
Like
back
what
to
they
him.
do plasma. It's
Yes,
almost like what they do plasma
Yeah,
with.
yep. And I take that back to him. He's like, what the fuck is, hell no. He did it. He used it, but he refused to use it on me because I'm tiny. I have little veins.
Right.
He's like, I'm going to get, so he called a buddy over, buddy Josh. I worked with him at Cracker Barrel. And he brought over a rig, and I'm sorry. And he brought over a rig and for an exchange for K8. And I had to beg him to hit me. Because Joel said, I will not do that to you for the first time. Because once you do it, it's over.
Yeah,
it's over.
done.
And
Especially
he
a dilaudid.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And we had a whole bottle. But he did most of
God
them. He was
damn.
stingy as fuck.
Whole bottle.
Yeah, he was stingy as fuck, though. He did it. And I didn't know. And they were not giving me an entire one, obviously. They gave me
Right.
half a K8.
Half one.
Yeah, I couldn't have done a whole one, I don't think. But anyway, so I begged and finally Josh was like, "All right." He's like, "I'm just warning you." He's like, "And please don't ever blame me for this." I said, "I won't." I said, "I want this," and he did, and that was it. It was over. I was so in love. I mean,
It's the rush
it
from
was everything I've
dilaudid.
ever needed. It was
is-
everything I ever needed.
I don't know how
It
to
almost makes me
explain
want to
it.
cry. I swear.
Like I remember the rush. I remember like not being able to breathe, like the
Yeah, it
breath
takes your
being
breath
taken
away,
out
and
of
it's
my
like
lungs.
a warmth, and it's just, ugh.
I like felt. I remember
It's
like
melting.
wanting to fall to my knees.
Yeah.
Like it was just like, oh my.
And then
God.
if you want to puke, or you feel like you're gonna puke, and you can hold that in, oh, that's
Yeah.
even the best,
Yeah.
But so, yeah, so I started shooting up at that time. So all
So
this,
all
yeah,
from
all
that point
that
on,
point on, I'm shooting up.
you're using a needle.
Yep, and
So you're bad.
I am bad.
You're
yeah,
bad
I'm
off.
Yeah, but John was not using a needle when I came back up here after that because this is still '06. So Joel, the oxys ran out at one point, and I got pissed. John is on the phone with me, begging me to come back up to Indiana, and because he had run, so we were apart at this time, and he said, I said, there's nothing, I can't get dope up there. He's like, I can get you heroin. I was like, oh really? So boom, I'm off to the I'm running to the heroin. And the first night I got there, he got me a bag, a tenth, and I did it all. I did the whole tenth and gave him the rinse, and he was high off the rinse, so it was fine.
Really?
Yeah, but I shot him up for the first time. I
Okay.
did with no, because they, you learn pretty quick.
Yeah.
And so anyway, and even if you don't do it right, you're gonna stab yourself till you do. You know what I mean?
Yep.
God, I went one time. Well, I went one time right here, and right here, and got abscesses right in my wrist, dude.
Yeah, that's.
I got abscess there, and there at the same time.
See, I have fantastic veins, so
Yeah.
like, yeah.
So does Sean. Yeah.
I didn't have to worry
nothing,
about it.
Nothing. But anyway, yeah. So skipping ahead, Sean and I are together. 2010, we're doing heroin, and every day, more
Wait,
so.
he came to court, right?
Yeah, he came to court, and then we're together after that, right?
Okay.
So then we're hotel hopping because I got it, I got kicked out of my apartment, and so he and I are hotel hopping. We're getting money from his grandmother every day. His grandmother's giving us $100 a day or so. Just wait. She works at a hotel. She's an accountant at a hotel,
Okay.
and the owner of the hotel, he he owns some strip clubs. He owns, not necessarily a shady character, but not necessarily a good guy either.
Is his last name Patel?
No, but
Okay.
there's one that owns that now.
Oh, okay.
So
Just curious.
no, it's not. I'll tell you his last name later. But anyway, I don't want to, get in trouble or anything. But so like I said, 2010, Sean and I meet this dude at the clinic. Chuck was his name. Chuck, and he's from Chicago, and he loved, he was big into heroin, but he could get good heroin. We were getting stuff, but he could get really good shit. And so we were going to his house every day and doing it. And because we're just doing the clinic. But now let me explain something to you. This entire time that Sean and I are together, every single day, no matter what, heroin be damned, we're getting Xanax. I have to have Xanax. Sean has to have Xanax. We're addicted to Xanax. And it's like to the point we will get sick. I mean, and I don't know if anybody's ever experienced a benzo sickness, but it's worse than heroin. I promise you. I mean, it is. And that is one thing that you can die coming off of,
Yeah.
benzos
100%.
and alcohol. But
100%.
yeah, it's scary. But so that was an everyday thing. Grandmother giving us $100. We'd each have to have like $16 to dose, so that's 32, and then a tenth, maybe 2/10 of heroin, that'd be 50. So we're at $80 now. And then if we have to choose between the heroin or maybe getting 1/10 of heroin, which would be 25, and then getting some Xanaxes. So maybe have like a pack of cigarettes, and we have to go every day to Wendy's because they have the best dollar menu. Junior bacon
I was
cheeseburgers.
just about to ask you.
Junior bacon cheeseburgers. Yes,
Yep.
hit.
Been
So
there.
that was our $100 day every day. Boom, boom, boom. And that was how it went for a long fucking time.
That's not bad.
No, hell no.
Not at all.
It was great.
But
I mean, it's great as a junkie gets.
Dumb as it sounds for me to say that.
Yes, that's not bad.
That's not bad.
But the reason it's not bad is because we're not having to go out and hustle for that money. We're not
Right.
having to work for that money.
Yeah.
That money's being given,
Yeah.
know. But then that went on for 8 years. 8 years.
Eight fucking years.
8 years. 2016, from 2008 to 2016. 2016, she got busted for embezzlement. Yep. And now, when she got busted, we were getting upwards of $200 a day. And now we're not the only people she's giving money to because Sean's dad, God rest his soul. Oh my God, this is a recent loss. Okay, he just overdosed in March.
Really?
Mm-hmm. And he was like one of my best fucking friends, dude. He really was. Anyway, she was giving him money too, and he was way worse than we were. He was. I wish you could have met him. He was fucking wild. The best dude ever, though. So good. the heart of gold, but the worst junkie, like the
Yeah.
worst addict ever, you know? And me and him and Sean would fight to the fucking death over crack. You know, oh, you got more. No, you got more. You know, don't do last hit. And then we last hit's over and we're punching each other, you know. But anyway, so like I said, his dad's passed away recently, but his grandmother was giving his dad a little bit more money than us, and she was giving her daughter money, and she was giving us money, so it was a lot more than just $100 a day that she was getting out, I would say. And I guess, and this is just me personally, I'm guessing that she probably embezzled around 3 million, but they only got her for 85,000. And 70 years old, that bitch went and did 10 months in prison.
In the feds?
Yes. And did it like a boss.
Oh,
I mean, like a boss. She's a boss bitch anyway. I love his grandmother, man.
10 months in the feds is...
She is I mean, they call her OG. She is an
Yeah.
OG. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
That bitch, oh, God, I love her so much. But anyway.
70 years old.
70
huh?
years old. She is a trooper, man. She's awesome. But anyway, yeah, so yeah, she got sentenced to that. But before she did get sentenced, me and Sean ended up, well, we lost our apartment because she paid her rent, she paid her bills, she paid her everything, you know, everything. And so we moved in with his dad. And when we did, Sean and I at the time were not smoking crack. You know, we've kind of ended that, you know, that phase of our life or whatever. We were selling weed. Sean was dealing weed. And
he was stealing weed?
Dealing weed, I'm sorry. Okay. And not a lot. You know, we'd only get an ounce at a time. You know, just 20 bags here and there.
Sure.
But anyway, let's see. That his guy that he was getting it from ended up murdered in Louisville in a triple shooting. And this is one of the nicest people you've ever met in your life. He was such a great guy. Hippie dude. Sweet. I mean, I can't imagine somebody killing him, but it was, the shooter was a cousin of the people's house he was at, and he come in and shot his cousin, shot his wife, and then shot the guy. Yeah,
it's like
and
execution.
And then he went to shoot the guy's girlfriend and ran out of bullets, and she was able to run, but her boyfriend's brains are splattered all over her face. You know?
Fuck.
Yeah, she was fucked up over that.
Oh,
And I can't imagine.
God.
I cannot imagine.
No.
And he was a very, very, very close friend, and his brother still is. It's like they're more like family to us than friends, honestly. It's so fucked up. Sean talks about it, I bet, once a week. He's like, God, I miss Doug. And I'm like, yeah, me too.
God damn.
It's fucked up. It's so fucked up. But anyway, so, yeah, during that time, so we didn't have any more income personally, so we couldn't pay for our dose anymore. And so I have, you know, a plethora of clothing, jewelry, show to Sean, nice shoes, and we're steady getting rid of it little by little for crack because we're moving with his dad, and we're doing benzos, crack, and methadone every day, and fighting.
It's expensive,
it's
man.
crazy. Yeah, but we unloaded that house. That house had furniture like this, gone, huge TVs gone, you know, down to the bare minimum, you know, our beds, you know. And it became fucking miserable. Now, at this time, too, we're still shooting up heroin here and there. And I had gotten kicked off the methadone clinic for benzo use. Because, you know, eventually, sometimes they will say, fuck you, you know, you're not getting clean, you're not trying to do right, you need to go.
Right.
And when I did, I was, like, distraught. What am I going to do? You know, like, I have to get dope now, or, you know, whatever. And
Yeah, you're
sick.
fucked.
Yeah, terribly sick. And so I remember I had an appointment to go over to another methadone clinic in Louisville, and I went over there, and they couldn't get me in that day, and I had $100 to pay them to get me in that day. Well, they couldn't. So what did I do? I went to the West End of Louisville and scored some heroin. The heroin I got, when you put the water on it, it turned as orange as your cap. It was not right, you know. And Sean's like, hey, I'm not doing that shit. And I was like, just, you know, whatever, I'm doing it. And so I did it, and it was okay, but it was not good. It was junk.
Yeah.
And Sean's like, that's it. I'm fucking done. I'm done. I'm never doing this shit again. And he threw his rig away. And I was like, you know what? Me too. And I bent that needle, and I put it away, and we have not touched a needle or on a list of opiates since 2016.
Good for you. I bent my needle probably 30 times. And
oh, me too. Me too.
Did that, and then I would unbend it.
Yeah, I've done that too.
And still use it.
Have you ever? Well, I'm sure you have. You know, used one that was so dull that it's just, you know.
Yeah.
or
Old reliable.
shared. I've
Oh.
shared needles with everybody and their brother. I can't believe I don't have anything. I really don't.
I shared a needle with a kid who had Hep C knowingly.
Yeah. Oh,
And
me too.
I'd rinse it out with bleach.
Me too. Yep.
Because
Done
I
it.
heard that that's
Yep.
how it kills it. I
It
don't
does
know
not.
if it does.
I don't think it does,
But I don't have Hep C.
thank God for that.
And I don't know how.
Well, that's the exact same thing I've done because Sean had Hep C, or he had Hep C. He's gotten the cure for it now,
Yeah.
and he's clean. Or
Yeah, you can cure it
Yeah,
now,
now you
right?
can cure it. Thank God.
Yeah.
Now, when he was diagnosed in 2010, and he did not get treatment until 2022.
Damn.
And we were so afraid that he was going to have cirrhosis or something like that. He's perfectly fine.
Wow.
Perfect, other than he can't gain weight, but that's
Yeah,
some kind of
neither
issue
can I.
tall, skinny
Yeah.
dudes have. But no, but anyway, yeah. So it got bad. So we were done. We were done. We were just over it. Just tired, just really fucking tired. And we asked his mother to move in with her. And now let me explain something to you. His mother is married to Sean's stepdad and has been since Sean was 9 years old. And that's who raised him, his mother and his stepdad. His stepdad is a retired narcotics detective and the biggest the biggest narcotics detective in our city of Jeffersonville, Indiana. I mean, like, he wrote the book for
Damn.
Drug Bust and
Okay.
is just like popular hero because he was shot in the line of duty in 2009 and almost killed.
Jeez.
He was shot 3 times. The bullet split up in like 6 fragments or something. He had to have surgery. He was in the hospital forever. It ruptured his femoral artery. We got shot in the
wow.
leg.
And he
yeah,
survived.
he survived. Yeah, he flatlined. I think they said on the operating table for like a minute or something, but they got him back. Thank God.
Jeez.
Thank God, because let me tell you something. And I hated that fucking man. I hated his ass when Sean and I got together because he was narc.
Right.
Like he was
He's a
the
cop.
enemy. He was the enemy, right? But let me tell you, he's been one of the most influential and powerful men in my life. Like, I love him as if he was my own fucking dad. I care so much about him, and you'll understand why in a minute. But he raised Sean, and I think for a long time, I don't know, because Sean's dad is a junkie. His real dad was a junkie. His stepdad's a narc. Like, that's a hard in between
Yeah.
there to beat, right?
Oh, yeah.
Pick who,
Right.
and he kind of picked his dad, and I think his stepdad, kind of felt, I don't know, some way about that. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. But so they let us move into their home, and we're still addicted to benzos. Okay. Now I've got to connect, and I've got 3 connects at that time, and but one run out, the next one run off, and it was like they're all starting to fade. And it was like this time, and everything was telling us, So I made an appointment with a psychiatrist to get seen because I'm an actress, I can put it on.
Sure.
And not to say that I didn't have anxiety, because I really do. Or, I do have, I've been diagnosed with general anxiety disorder, which is not just regular anxiety. It's panic attacks.
Yep.
It's, when you walk out the door to go to the grocery, oh my God, you're going to die in a car wreck, like type shit,
Yeah.
thinking all the time, and I really do think like that. But I've realized now later on that it's not something I can't manage, myself, without medication. And I feel like I can, because I've been medicated since 2019 on Xanax. I never told you this part. Oh, this is crazy. You will not believe this. You will not fucking believe me. In 2010, in 2010, I went to a psychiatrist.
Okay.
God, I want to fucking say that bitch's name, but I'm not going to because I don't want to. But anyway, she was a well-known scriptwriter. Okay, well-known. She cash only, no insurance, cash only, and I went to her to get Suboxone. Okay, because she wrote Suboxone prescriptions, and so I went there, and the first day, the lady tells me to just swallow the Suboxone. Well, I knew better than that, so I kept it under my tongue.
Was it the
Yeah, it's-
sublingual strips? Or
No,
was
the
it
round
the
tablets.
rounds,
The round tablet, 8 milligram
or
tablets.
the stop signs or whatever?
Mm-hmm. Yep. And they did have a generic back then, so these fuckers are expensive.
Yeah.
My prescription a month is over $900.
Jesus.
Well, but she wrote me 8 tablets a day. 8 milligram tablets. 64 milligrams of
That's
Suboxone a day was what I was on, which is
unbelievable.
stupid because at that time they did not have the knowledge to know that over 32 milligrams it doesn't do
Does
anything
nothing.
extra. They didn't have that knowledge back then, right? But yeah, so she wrote me 64 milligrams of Suboxone a day. She wrote me, oh my God, I don't want to mess up the number, 12 milligrams of Xanax a day, 6 2 milligram bars, 6 2 milligram bars. On my children's life, I was prescribed
That
this.
is so much
Yes,
Xanax.
and 40 milligrams of Lexapro. That was my daily dose.
Jesus.
Swear to God. No, I didn't
I
take
mean,
that much.
but
I didn't take that much because I sold most of the Suboxones, and me and Sean ate, 180 bars in 4 days.
I was gonna say you.
No,
you don't remember anything.
No,
You're
no,
just gone.
no, gone. That's what I was telling Sean's mom before I came up here. I'm like, it's gonna be kind of hard because like the last 17 years are kind of a blur,
Yeah.
because I've been on benzos.
Yeah.
But Sean and I would literally, and I swear, literally go through 180 bars in 4 days between he and I.
It's benzos are such.
It's
a
easy to do.
dangerous- Yeah,
because
it-
you take 4 of them, and you take 5 of them. Like I don't
You
feel
feel
nothing.
sober.
Or yeah, I feel
You
good. I'm
think
gonna
you're
feel even
sober.
better. Yeah, yeah. Or and then does it? You then you just black out. Do what the
you're
fuck
not-
ever you do. I don't
you're
know.
Not sober.
Steal, lie. Who
Whatever.
knows? Whatever. Yeah, I've done it all.
God damn.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, that I forgot about telling you about that because that was a big deal too. And I don't know. There was like a part of me that thought if I didn't get that prescription that Sean would leave, And I told him that the other day. I was like, I always thought that if I didn't get the Xanax prescription for you, right, I wasn't able to score him or whatever, you would leave. He's like, why would you ever think that? I was like, I don't know. So. But anyway, yeah, going forward, 2019, I get prescribed 3 1 milligram tablets a day, and I've been prescribed that now for several years. Well, ever since. And
So when you first get them, I'm assuming that you do not take them as prescribed.
Sean and I go through 93 milligram, 91 milligram Xanaxes in 2 days, 3 days, 3 days tops.
It's not
3
hard.
days tops.
It's not hard to do.
No, and in that 3 days, we fuck everything in our lives totally up. I usually
Spilling
get
shit.
arrested. No, I usually go to jail.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, I usually go to jail
Right
for
on.
shoplifting because
Nice.
I do stupid shit. I've between 2021 and 2023, I got 4 shoplifting charges back to back. Within every 3 months, I'd pick one up, and 3 of them I didn't even really steal anything. But
As
they
long as
had
they're misdemeanors, it's okay.
Yeah, thank God.
Yeah.
I have 13 of them.
Yeah.
13 misdemeanors.
It's about what I had.
Really?
Yeah.
I have 9 felonies.
Yeah, I only had 4.
Yeah, but the good thing is I only have 2 months left on paper, and I'm done. And then I can wait a year and a half, and I'm getting that fucker expunged, the whole damn thing, and starting all over. And I'm 43, but I'm starting
Are
all
your
over.
crimes all expungible?
Yeah, yes, yeah.
Good.
No, I don't have any
I
violent.
got-
I have no
I-
violent crimes.
I will tell you, I got my record sealed, and I went for a job, and they did a background check, and I was like, "Is this gonna work? Is this
Yeah,
gonna?" and
yeah. Did it work?
It worked.
Okay, now let me tell you something. I had a guy. I was bartending, and he ran a private one on me because I took diversion on my 6 felonies, so it's not supposed to show up on my record because it's diverted.
Uh-huh.
And
Okay.
he ran a private background on me, and it showed up and fired me.
Really?
Yeah. So I think there's a way they can get around. But I think if it's expunged, not diverted, then I don't think it shows up. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to really find out.
I mean, it's
about that.
sealed. Like
Yeah,
it's,
sealed
it's,
is
it's
sealed is sealed.
gone.
Diverted is over
like
to the
if you
side.
call the courthouse,
Yeah.
they don't have the paper.
Okay.
It's gone.
See, then
they
good.
destroy
good,
it.
Good.
Yeah.
So, but diverted is just kind of pushed aside a little bit.
I
Where you
believe.
can't really see
I
it. But
believe.
yeah. So I think so too. But now where am I at? Okay. So 2019, the Xanax start to kind of run out, but I've got a prescription, but those are gone in a couple days, and we're sick, and so now before this, we would get so sick sometimes. There was a time in 2015 when Sean had his seizure. We were out for 3 days and couldn't get anything anywhere. Couldn't find Xanax to save my life. And Sean, we were on our way to go get some. My ex-boyfriend Grant from long ago. He came from Louisville and picked us up and took us to get some. But as we were crossing the bridge to Kentucky, Sean seized up, and I hear. this is the worst, and I can't even do it the way he did it, like the worst growl cry. And I turn around and he's just straight out like that, and I'm like, oh my God, you know, and I'm freaking the fuck out because I'm like, oh no, Sean, you know, and then he starts convulsing. And he was seized up straight out for maybe 3-4 minutes, like way too fucking long. And then he starts convulsing, and he convulsed for, I mean, a good 20 minutes, 20, you know,
Jesus.
just, it was unstoppable. Just, and I thought, he's fucking dying.
And you were
He's
driving,
dying.
right?
No, Grant was driving. I'm in the passenger seat, over the seat, you know, like trying to do everything I can for him not to hit his head. And Grant finally stops. He's like, he's going to swallow his tongue because Grant has had medical issues. And so he's had seizures. And he sticks his fingers in his mouth to hold
Yeah.
his tongue down.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God. I said, Grant, what do we do? Do we get to the hospital faster or just Xanax faster? He's like, I can get to the Xanax faster. I was like, take me there. And I got him and I put a bar underneath Sean's tongue and he started coming out of it.
Wow.
It was so fucking scary, dude. But that was, he had 2 more seizures, and one was 13 minutes long and one was 10 minutes long.
God.
That first one was 27 minutes long. How he does not have brain damage
Yeah,
is
I
beyond,
mean,
and maybe he does.
that's-
No, I'm just kidding. No, it's beyond me, honestly.
That's a
But let me tell you
long
something.
time.
He did not come back to who he was right away. So I feel like there was something wrong, because like he's a huge Grateful Dead fan, and so am I. And so we know like words and songs and dates, and I would ask him like easy questions and he would not know. And I called my mom and I'm like, Mom, what do I do? And she's like, honey, I don't know. I said, I think I'm going to start getting him to smoke weed because he didn't smoke weed at the time. She's like, well, I don't know if that'll help. You know, my mom's anti-drug, everything. So anyway, I got him a bag of weed because it was like when Charlotte's story, are you familiar with that?
Mm-mm.
The little girl, I think it was Colorado or something, that they started giving her, you know, like THC. She had terrible seizures like all day long or something. And
Yeah, I might have seen it
it's a
on
long
like
time ago.
YouTube
2015.
or
Yeah,
some
YouTube.
shit.
It was like 2014, 15. It was a long time ago. But anyway,
And she would stop.
Yes, and so I saw that, and so I was like, weed, you know, maybe it'll help, and it sure as shit did. I'm telling you, he started smoking weed right that very night, and he started kind of coming out of it better. You know, he was coming back to himself, and I'm like, smoke all the weed you want, but you know, I don't care. I'm not going to because I can't stand the smell or what it does to me. But you know, thank God for that plant. You know,
God Almighty.
yeah. So
He's lucky to be alive.
yeah, he is very lucky to be alive.
As are you.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, because I've had kidney failure twice, and liver failure once. But, you know, anyway.
Take us to present day.
Present day. Okay, so, like I said, I got prescribed the Xanax 2019. We got kicked out of his parents' house in 2020. Yeah, 2020. And then what? COVID starts to hit, right?
Yeah.
Well, COVID hits, and he and I were living at a friend's house, an older lady's house in Charlestown, and she's like one of my best friends or what it was. And I found out about his job. We were at a hotel or something, and all these people had this shirt, and it said "Way to go" on it. I'm like, what is that? And they're like, it's his job, and you can travel around the country, and it's just like bullshit, and they pay you good money. And I looked it up, and sure, it was like a merchandising job, and they pay you, and you go to a place in the country, you stay for 6 weeks, go into stores like Walmart overnight, and like redo their shelving, and it's fucking cake. They give you per diem, so like me and Sean lived on our per diem, and we didn't have to touch our paychecks, so we were able to stack money.
Wow.
And we're able to get away from here and the drugs and everything. So we were prescribed Suboxone, 2020. We'd both gotten off the clinic and gotten on Suboxone, which was a transition, but it was okay. And it was the best thing, you know, as far as like opiate, you know, use goes.
Yeah.
I'm
Suboxone
not
over
really,
methadone.
yeah, I'm not really a big methadone supporter because I was on it for 12 years and nothing in my life changed. As a matter of fact, it got worse.
Yeah.
So I'm not big on
you're
methadone at
you're
all.
meeting people. You're fucking.
No, yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, I don't
terrible.
agree with it really at all. But the Suboxone, however, I feel like, you know, because it is prescribed, you can take it at home. It's not like a social thing.
Right.
You cannot get high off of it.
No.
I don't give a shit what anyone says.
I mean, like
now it
being
this
clean,
makes
you could.
Yeah, right. Now,
If you-
now if
you
you
know
were
what I mean?
sober, now as an addict, you know,
Yeah.
you're not feeling
If
nothing.
you
I don't
have
feel
no
shit.
tolerance,
Yeah, I've got a tolerance, so I
you
don't
can
feel
get
anything.
high,
Right?
but-
Yeah. Now, if I gave somebody who didn't have it, obviously, yeah, they'd be sick. Because
Yes.
buprenorphine is the strongest opiate,
you'd
from
be
what I
throwing
understand.
up.
Anyway, So he and I worked the job, lived in Colorado for 6 weeks, did another trip in Missouri for 6 weeks, came back home, lived at his grandparents, which is his mother's parents. And in 2021, we go to a Fish concert, and it's actually our anniversary, August 8th, 2021. It's a Saturday, and we're camping, with this 3-day concert. And I get out of the Jeep. We had a Jeep. I get out of the Jeep, and I feel the nausea come across me. And I'm like, oh, this is a nausea I recognize. And Sean and I have never used any type of protection in all the years we'd been together. And at that time, we'd been together 14 years. We did not think he could have children because I'm fertile myrtle. I've already had 2, right? So I had no reason to worry.
You're pregnant.
Well, I'm pregnant. Yep, I am preggo, but I'm fucking ecstatic about this one, okay? Because it's like something special. Because he and I have been together for so long, we really love one another.
Get it right.
Yeah, right. And I wanted a girl so bad. I was like, oh please, And I had a girl. I had a little girl, and God, my God, she has been. I'm trying not to cry. She has been everything in my fucking life.
That's good.
Yeah.
Something to hold on to.
Yeah, and
Hope.
the thing about it is like, she's 3 years old, and for the last 3 years, I've been more sober than I've ever been in my life because I've been trying to get my shit together. Went through like a DCS case, got that closed, but she's still not living with me. She's with Sean's parents. We have joint custody, but they have physical. We just, we all share a joint, but they have physical. And, like the pain of, excuse me, the pain of going to visit her and leaving, I think, and the Xanax prescription is what keeps me high, keeps me doing shit, keeps me doing not right, but that doing not right is what keeps me from her.
Right.
So it's like I'm shooting myself in the fucking head, right? Yeah. Now, I have a psychiatrist appointment on Thursday. And like I finally feel like I've gotten the balls and the nerve, and I've told so many people this before and not done it, but I feel like this time, and especially doing this with you, it's gonna hold me accountable. And I have other things to hold me accountable, but I'm gonna tell my psychiatrist to take me off those fucking benzos. Get me off of those.
Just
because
make sure they do it right.
Crutch. It's my crutch.
They gotta do it right.
Well, see, the thing about it is I'm not dependent upon them anymore. I don't get sick. No, I'm not sick now. No. And I just had some a few weeks, like a week and a half ago, half of my prescription.
Damn, okay.
Because Sean and I take them in such large amounts at such short amount of time that we don't get dependent upon them. You see what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah. Because we got off that dependence in 2019, and since then we've been doing it short intervals, but stupid short intervals, catching charges, being stupid, beating each other up, and we've never been like that.
You will thank yourself over and over.
It's going to change my fucking life, man.
Yeah,
I hope a year from now I can come back and show you.
It will.
Really, because it's been everything that I've been holding on to, and I haven't even wanted to say it out loud for so long that it's my Xanax. This is what the problem.
So that leaves you with the Suboxone.
Yep.
And that's
the Suboxone, and I'm good. Yeah. So my whole goal is to do this, and I'm going into an IOP, intensive outpatient program. I have an appointment Thursday, so Thursday is my big day, right?
It's a big day.
Yeah.
It's a really fucking big day.
Yeah.
Show up.
But I'm going to do it, dude. I'm going to fucking do it because that little girl deserves better. I look at her and I'm like, you don't deserve me, So.
She does.
Yeah.
You just got to go in there Thursday and do the right thing.
Absolutely. Yeah, for sure.
And you can do it.
Yep. So other than that, we're good,
Sorry about the tears.
No, it's okay. I'm an emotional person anyway. But
no, it's okay. You're fine. If you could deliver a message to anybody struggling currently, what would it be? Because everything you just told me is fucking off the wall.
No matter how bad or low you get, the sun will come up tomorrow. You can do this. You can get through this. Just keep on keeping on. Because no matter how many times you get down, you can get right the fuck back up.
You've dug yourself out of a fucking massive hole.
Yeah.
And you're almost out of it.
I'm almost to the top.
You're very close.
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
You have my number, so
Yeah, absolutely.
please
Yeah.
let me know how
Yeah.
Thursday goes.
For sure I will.
Well, unless you have anything else, thank you so much for coming
No,
on.
thank you for having me. It's been great.
It was fantastic.
Yep.
Thank you.